Now that you've got the basic face, you're going to add a ledge on the back so it hangs up well. Use cardboard and wire to add big things to the mask. Tape them on, paper mache them on. Use celluclay and old scrap clay to create wrinkles and nostrils and smaller details. You're going to go ahead and plaster over these later so they'll be very smooth. This student used old cups to create an armature for a gas mask. Later they'll be paper mache'd over. Teeth seem to be best done by drawing and then cutting out cardboard to the correct shape and taping and plastering them on flat. This is joint compound. It will smooth things out. Think of it like frosting. It's not strong at all, but it is smooth. Paint the joint compound on about 1/8 of an inch thick. It's going to be all rough and textured. Later you can follow it with a soft paintbrush that has water in it and make it very, very smooth. You can also take a finger that has water on it and smooth it out. Dried joint compound can be smoothed out with a wet sponge and light round motions. Using joint compound, letting it dry, sanding it with a wet sponge, letting it dry and repeating created this very smooth project. Special attention needs to be paid on the edges. A good thick bead of joint compound must be laid along the edges and smoothed out so the edges of the mask don't look ragged. Here the joint compound is being layered up to cover the rough celluclay. You can see how fabulous it looks after a great deal of attention and layering has been done. This eye was created by making the eyeball and then taking plaster bandages and creating eyelids on top of that eyeball. Here a big mass of newspaper has been taped on to create a big nose. It has to be covered with something, and in this case they used celluclay, but you could also use paper mache. Here are a couple of pictures of a variety of add-ons that were placed on top of the masks to create Your old scrap clay is made into a flower and put on the mask and then sealed in with paper mache because the clay will tend to dry and fall off. This is dried celluclay with no joint compound. The artist liked the rough texture.